Hello, mic check 1 2. Hello, hello, mic check 1 2. Hello. What does force SDR mean? Okay, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that. Can you definitely hear me? Hello.
Hello, mic check 1 2. Hello.
Okay, one last final mic check before I start the video. I'm aware that I've already taken up 1 minute and 20 seconds, but just bear with me. One sec, one sec. Okay, one last final mic check before I start the video. I'm aware that I've already taken up 1 minute and 20 I've just noticed that this whole time I've been speaking to myself. Can you fucking imagine my disbelief when I noticed that I've been on mute this whole time? Are you taking the fucking piss? Mate, I can't believe this. Like, I've been speaking for quite a while now as well, for actually a decent amount of time. And for some reason, I've been on mute the entire time. I can't quite believe that. Oh, mate. So, where do I even start? How do I sum up everything that I've spoken about in this? For fuck's sake, man, I can't quite believe that. So, essentially, I was saying that we have a suspension block here, okay, and it's a suspension block because that has a volume imbalance to the low and to the high of it. So it's kind of like the candle is suspended between two volume imbalances, right? So that's what that is. That's a suspension block, right? We also have a bullish fair value gap here and a bullish fair value gap here. Now, essentially, what's happened is price has made runs higher, trying to, or at least taking this liquidity above here and trying to take this high. Okay. We've, sorry, let me fucking rephrase this. Mate, I've been speaking and explaining this for so long. I can't even believe that it hasn't picked up on any of my audio. Like, I've been trying to call the market, like, as it's happening. Like, I've been speaking about everything, and I realized that I haven't even been fucking recording it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine my disbelief? So, fuck's sake, man. So we have the suspension block here. Oh, I don't even want to say everything all over again, but I realize that you guys are not going to know what I've said the first time. So to you, it's not hearing it all over again. It's just hearing it for the first and initial time. So for fuck's sake, man, it's actually quite stressful. That. How long has it been on? Let me just check. Wait, what? Why is it just saying 2 minutes and 25 seconds? What's going on? Oh, it did. Has it been recorded? Oh, mate, I can't believe I've been on mute this whole entire fucking time. Can you actually imagine that? Ah, so irritating. We'll start over here. So, a macro was formed. We've used the Fibonacci extension tool into eighths and then dragged that extension forward in time, okay? And that's what's given me the range that I would like to stay within on this specific day, or the range that I'm targeting at least. So we have here in orange a suspension block. The reason that this is a suspension block is because we have a one singular candle that has a volume imbalance to the low and to the high of this one candle. Okay, see that gap there and also here. And the fact that it's a fair value gap in itself. But it doesn't need to be a fair value gap, it just needs to have the volume imbalances. So that's my suspension block. Okay. The second thing I used, right, is this bullish fair value gap here. See, this also has a volume imbalance to the low, but not to the high. So that one isn't a suspension block, that's just a volume imbalance. And I'm using this kind of last run up past this liquidity as an inversion level. So like price is sort of gapping up to take this liquidity, and then sellers have stepped in. Okay, I've marked out this inefficiency, the last one on the run higher, and the one that caused the last run higher, and I've essentially just plotted them on my screen here and here, and then I've brought them forward in time. You can see this wick in here. Let me just cool this down a little bit so you can see it a bit better. See this wick right in here. I can't believe I'm having to explain this again. So the premise of me taking this trade, okay, is because when the market had printed this bullish fair value gap, and then immediately it got rebalanced. Immediately it got rebalanced, okay, and then we ran and took this high out, or at least formed relative equal highs. Prices then disrespected this bullish fair value gap, and also this bullish fair value gap, and the suspension block, all in one run, just from forming the relative equal highs. Okay, so essentially what I've done is I've waited for a retracement back into the highest available fair value gap. I wouldn't call this one available. I would say that needs to stay open, because that's a balanced price range right there. In fact, that may be where price is gonna go next, but potentially not also. This is a balanced price range here, because the market has formed one moment. The market has formed an inefficiency, like a bullish fair value gap and a bearish fair value gap, in a 3-candle formation, and they're like of almost equal length. So what I usually do, right, is I take the consequent encroachment of both of those, and I just use that as my new fair value gaps at this area here, and I would literally look for a wick in there and then shorting. But in this case, the balanced price range was strong, and there was no real reason for price to seek this inefficiency, or even the inversion one just below it. So basically, we formed A. So we formed A, okay, on the run up past this liquidity here, right? Oh, sorry, we formed A and B on the run up past this liquidity here, okay, and then C trades through A into B, and then the retracement from B goes straight down into the inversion fair value gap. Sorry, fucking hell, the inversion suspension block that was formed down here. So we're kind of trying to go for higher prices, failing to do so, retracing back into the inversion fair value gap here. Oh, well, that's actually an inversion volume imbalance, but then we short this area, and then where does price retrace into? It retraces into C here, and then shorts again into my target, which was the volume imbalance. So that is very interesting. I've been explaining and describing everything as it happened. but for some reason I was on mute the entire time, so I've only got myself to thank for that, really. I can see how we are trading into the suspension block again, but I've already outlined the fact that I think this suspension block is inversion. So I'm half tempted to add on another position, but I think it's important to potentially wait for the next 30 seconds. Ah, that's why! That was why. You see that? You see that? Did you fucking see that? I was just about a short. I'm gonna short here though. Taking that. Oh, can I not? I'm in full margin. I can't actually afford to short. Oh, that's a joke, bro. Okay, this is where I'm being, okay. Is the last wick high that swept liquidity, right? This obvious wick here. Yeah. We're gonna put the fib on that. And then we're gonna extend it forward here. Now, what we can see is that the price in that one run up there, it only traded to the middle or below the middle of this wick here. See that's the middle of it there. We traded to less than the middle of it. And then we've sort of taken up half that range again. So now I want to see if the price can now come into this wick. So like essentially instead of using this wick now. So like that's already being utilized, right? Oh shit, okay, we're back. Never mind, I'm gonna stop talking because right, basically what you guys don't understand yet is because and this is because my microphone was muted before. I already said quite some time ago that I would have taken my positions off after the volume and my like actual like very obvious target. It's literally right in your face right there. And I'm pretty sure the volume imbalance has been on the whole time in this video. Like that was my target and that's where I would have taken my entries off. I can see now that we've just had another run up into C. Gonna get stopped out? Potentially so. The reaction very strong.